Dairy Queen closes in 10 minutes.
I feel for this girl. Now, she's getting a lot of slack in the comments, especially from people in the veterinary field, about how they knew the comments would be negative. But to be honest, it has always felt disingenuous to me for someone to ask for hundreds of dollars after someone just dealt with one of the most devastating parts of their life. And it's always felt wrong when I did it. Now, I don't think she was trying to be mean or anything. It looked more like she was actually trying to find a bit of humor, maybe dark humor as it may be, with her pet's passing and the irony that, being asked for, or just the sad side of business that she had to be asked to pay for her own pet's passing. So I have nothing against this post, actually. I do think it actually brings up an extremely important topic in veterinary medicine, and that is, how do we go about euthanasias? When do we charge someone, and what are the expectations? Now, if I owned my own practice, if I had someone who's a long-time client and they had to euthanize their pet, I might write it off completely because they've spent so much money at my hospital. But this is not the case so much of the time. Many times someone is coming in who's never brought their pet to you before, who hasn't been seen in years. So you're going over months of history, calling for records, doing a physical exam, deciding. I don't think you guys understand how much drain it is on us, because we care about animals, all of them, how much it is for us to be the decider of yes, it is okay, or no, it is not okay to end an animal's life. We push the drugs. We're the ones holding the hand, pressing the drugs, as that animal's last breath, last heartbeat, and last brain function happens. It's not something we enjoy doing, and it's not something we enjoy charging for. But like I said, sometimes we don't know these pets at all, and we are going in there with the best intention of, do I even need to put this dog down? And if I do, it's going to take some detective work. I'm going to need to do my exam. I'm going to need to look at the history. I'm going to need to potentially even do some blood work, which does cost money. Now, the one thing that this clinic or hospital could have done wrong is if it is true that this happened, charging someone after the fact is not a good protocol. When someone comes in for a euthanasia, you let them know, hey, these are your options. Cremation, private cremation, those cost extra. We get charged for that from a private cremation company. We don't do that ourselves, so we have to charge for that as well. So when someone comes in, we let them know, hey, these are your options. This is how much euthanasia costs, because the doctor already calculated all the drugs and everything. We're gonna check you out before the euthanasia happens. Doctor's gonna go over everything, be with you there the whole time, explain the whole process, and you already have paid for it. So once it's all done, you can stay in the room, take as much time as you need, and you can leave without having to stop at the front desk. Now that's how it should be done. Do I wish we didn't have to charge for euthanasias? Yes, but the amount of time, the amount of skill, and the resources that it takes makes that impossible. In general, euthanasia is probably going to cost between $200 and $350, maybe even more if you do a private cremation on top of that. So it is a little expensive. And if for some reason you can't do that, I believe you can always go to your nearest shelter. It may not be the same, you may not be able to be there with them, or you may not be able to have such a close and intimate moment with them. But if that's what needs to be done due to financial reasons, then I completely understand. But if you can afford it, if it's not making you miss your next, house payment or rent, then going in and doing the euthanasia to someone who cares about your pet, who is emotionally invested in your pet, who's going to be placing the catheter, calculating the drugs, doing the physical exam, going over the history, potentially even doing diagnostics to see, can I save this pet? It's just part of the sad reality of owning a business. Until something happens where either through laws or government agencies or something else, we are able to cover this type of procedure, then just know that it's kind of a mutual agreement between the client and the hospital that when you come in for euthanasia, they're going to charge you a fee, and they're going to do their damn best to take care of your pet and help you have the most non-traumatizing and potentially even weightlifting euthanasia, because in the end we are putting an end to suffering and helping that patient not suffer anymore. It can be a horrible moment, it can be a beautiful moment, but in the end, I think my biggest fuss with that video was the comments of people just thinking that we're in it for the money when we are not in it for the money at all. We are in it for the patient. The money is just a side effect of the fact that veterinary field has to be a business. Just take that into account. Don't hate on this girl for posting this video. Like I said, I have nothing against her. For those of you in the comments who don't understand what we go through every day as veterinarians and what to expect when you come in for euthanasia, please take this to heart and don't blame your vet techs, don't blame the reception, and don't blame the vet when they have to charge you for the services that they have done.